Okay, so this evening I'm going to try and get the Orion Nebula, which is going to come up over here, over there. It's currently there, and it's going to be tracking that way. And I'm hoping that these clouds clear up and I can get set up quick enough and get on the target and start imaging before it has a chance to disappear. But we'll see. So I'm setting up at the front of the house this time instead of on our rear terrace. We'll see if we can capture this. Now there's more light pollution over here. Obviously there's other houses, the street lights, but we'll try. So it's a hill down here, but I've got the tripod leveled now using the levels here. So it's all leveled and it's pointing approximately north. So I'm going to get the battery packs and everything down here. We'll get it all plugged in. But not turn everything on yet until later, because it does start using up the power and we've got a limited amount of supply in the batteries. I don't have an extension cable long enough to get the power out to here. So I'm using these little portable battery packs to run everything. So we've got this one here which will run my powered USB hub. And this will also connect to the tracking mount, so I'm going to put both of those on the same one here. And then I've got another one which is charging at the moment. It'll be done before it gets dark, which will run the camera, the cooled camera, and then this one here will be for the laptop. So that should be enough to power everything long enough for the imaging session. Okay, so we've got everything set up here. We've got our laptop. Telescope's leveled. There's a hole in the clouds there. That's where Orion's going to be, but it's not going to be there for very long. So I'm hoping that by the time it moves up in the sky here, hopefully it will have given those clouds some time to disperse. Not too thick, but they might just hang around. So it's getting darker. We can see the first star starting to twinkle in the sky there. However, Orion would be just somewhere here right now, just behind the fringes of those clouds. So what I'm going to do, it gets a little bit darker. I'll just get everything polar aligned and then I'll shut everything down and hope then that we kind of maintain the polar alignment. If the cloud clears, then we can just turn on and get on target and start going. Okay, so I've got stellarium set up. This is the area of the sky that we're going to be trying to focus on. We'll try and find some target there which isn't going to be obstructed by cloud. Now we're going to go ahead and open up Nina and get our polar alignment done. Okay, so here we are in Nina. We've got everything connected up apart from PhD because I'm not going to be using the guide camera, so I'd save battery power. I don't have that one plugged in. So now we've got that all set up. I'm not going to turn on the cooling of the CCD yet because again that will just start using batteries. I don't need it anyway for the polar alignment part. So what we're going to do first of all is go over to imaging and make sure we're getting an image from the camera. That and see if we capture an image. No, we're probably going to get an image of nothing. Yeah, but yeah, we're connected to the camera. Okay, good. Now I'm going to manually slew over to another area on the telescope. I'll use the manual control and we'll try and get pointed to a star and see if we can get our polar alignment done. Okay, I started from a new position and actually some of the clouds are clearing. I can see Orion's belt now, so I think we've got a good chance of being able to get on the Orion's Nebula if we can get our polar alignment set up relatively quickly and get onto target. Retrieving the last measurement point. We'll see how far off we are. Okay, so we're 1 degree 54 off, not too much. Altitude error a little bit, so we need to move down a little bit in altitude, okay? So we'll go and make the adjustments, and then we'll see how that's done. Okay, so our polar alignment is done. We've only got a small error there. It took me maybe 2 minutes at the most. So now let's go and get framed up on our target. So we're going to go to our Sky Atlas, and we'll search for Orion, the Great Orion Nebula. We'll set this to our framing assistant. And framing assistant is going to download an image, and then it's going to show us how it should look here. We'll get framed up, and then we will slew and center, and that will use plate solving to make sure that we're on the target that we want to actually image. Okay, so almost ready to go. What I'm going to do is turn on the cooler, and we'll start cooling down the CCD. Try and get it down to temperature before we actually start our imaging. And we'll go over to imaging. This is, you can see what we're going to be taking a picture of, the Great Orion Nebula, a classic for astrophotography. I'm going to set my gain to 200. We'll have 60-second exposures. There you go, there's our 60-second exposure. So we've got a lot more detail coming in there. And now we will start. So we turn on save. We'll make this the Orion Nebula. Loop. And let's go. So these are the images we're getting coming through. Pretty spectacular. We're able to see the nebula. You can even see some colors coming out of it as we're using a color astronomy camera. So we're getting lots of data coming in here. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to start live stacking soon in Deep Sky Stacker. So there's our image, and there's the stacked image there in Deep Sky Stacker. Now later on, when this is processed in Photoshop, we'll get a lot more detail coming out of this, but I can see there's plenty of information coming in. I think we've got a good chance of getting a pretty decent image. So at the moment, we've had a total exposure time of 15 minutes. It's 15 images, 1 minute each. So we'll leave this going. I'm aiming to get maybe an hour or so of image data, and then we'll perhaps move on to another object. Well, it really sucks. Cloud coming in to ruin the day again. See it on the image there, and I can see it up there. I can't even see Orion's belt anymore. You can see the clouds covering the view. Well, due to clouds, the images coming in now are pretty much useless, as you can see. So I may as well just stop. I don't see any break in the clouds. Maybe they'll clear later, but there's no break in them at the moment, so it's just pointless carrying on. Probably the most frustrating thing about this hobby is the clouds, especially where I'm living.